Welcome to The Explainer. Today, we're diving straight into the fascinating physics of how our physical world actually works. You know, if you've ever just stopped, looked around, and wondered why objects behave exactly the way they do, well, you're in the perfect place. We're going to map out how motion governs literally our entire everyday lives, making the invisible forces of nature perfectly clear. So get comfortable, and let's unlock the secrets of movement together.
Okay, let's dive right into this. Why do you fall forward when a bus suddenly stops? I mean, we've all experienced this, right? It's a completely visceral, everyday mystery. You're riding along, perfectly balanced. Maybe you're looking out the window or checking a text on your phone, and then, suddenly, the driver slams on the brakes. Instantly, your upper body violently jerks forward. Honestly, it almost feels like an invisible person standing right behind you just gave you a massive shove. But obviously, there's no one there. There's zero physical push, so what on earth is throwing you forward? Well, this single, kind of frustrating moment on your morning commute actually holds the key to understanding the foundation of all physical movement in our universe.
Section 1. The culprit. Newton's first law of motion, also known as the law of inertia.
An object remains at rest or in uniform motion unless acted upon by an external force. Now, this isn't just a suggestion, right? This is a fundamental law of physics written by Sir Isaac Newton centuries ago. It's basically the absolute rule book for how objects behave. And okay, at first glance, I know it might sound a little formal or academic, but I promise you, as we break this down, you're going to see just how incredibly intuitive and applicable it is to literally everything around you.
So the crucial point is that we can take this big, intimidating scientific law and neatly split it into two easily digestible halves. Objects that are at rest and objects in motion. Think of a simple book lying perfectly still on a flat table. That's an object at rest. Then, picture a ball smoothly rolling across the floor at a constant speed. That's an object in motion. Newton's law is simply giving us the rules for these two specific states of being. By organizing our thoughts into these two buckets, the science instantly becomes so much easier to grasp.
Let's ground this concept of being at rest first. A book lying on a table is not going to move by itself. It needs a push. Objects at rest are, frankly, incredibly lazy. They're perfectly content doing absolutely nothing forever. That book sitting on your desk has zero internal motivation to just suddenly slide off the edge. It absolutely requires an external hero, like your hand coming in to give it a forceful push, or maybe a gust of wind, or even an earthquake, to force it to change its perfectly still state. Unless an outside force intervenes, that book is staying exactly where it is. No exceptions.
Now, let's look at the flip side. Objects in motion. According to the law, a moving object, like a rolling ball, should theoretically keep rolling forward in a straight line forever. But we all know that if you roll a ball down the hallway, it eventually slows down and stops. Why? Well, the culprits are invisible external forces. Forces like friction rubbing against the bottom of the ball and air resistance pushing right against the front of it. They're constantly acting like invisible hands pushing back against the motion. If we could somehow magically turn off friction and air resistance, that rolling ball would literally never, ever stop.
Let's move to Section 2, the magic of inertia, and see how this all builds.
Here is the absolute core of our explainer today. Inertia. It's the property of objects to resist changes in their state. I really want to anchor this specific scientific vocabulary in your mind right now. Resisting change. Whether an object is sitting completely still, or whether it's flying through the air at 100 miles an hour, it simply wants to keep doing exactly what it's already doing. It actively resists any attempt to change its routine. That stubbornness, that physical reluctance to change, that is what we call inertia.
And this brilliantly illustrates exactly what we mean by resisting change. Think of the famous tabletop trick, where a magician quickly yanks a tablecloth out from under a fully set dinner table, and the plates and glasses stay exactly where they are. Or the classic coin-on-card experiment, where you flick a playing card out from under a coin and the coin just drops straight down into the glass instead of flying away with the card. That is inertia in action. The plates and the coin were at rest, and because the sudden pulling force was applied so incredibly fast to the cloth and the card, the objects on top simply resisted the change. They stubbornly stayed perfectly at rest. Which brings our narrative full circle, right back to our opening hook. Let's look at the step-by-step mechanics of the bus stop mystery. Step 1, you're standing on the bus, and both you and the bus are moving forward at the exact same speed. You are an object in uniform motion. Step 2, the bus driver slams the brakes and the bus stops suddenly. Now the brakes apply an external force to the bus, but not directly to you. Step 3, because of your body's inertia, you resist that sudden change in speed. Your body simply wants to keep doing what it was already doing, which is moving forward. So, the bus stops, but you keep moving. And that is exactly why you violently jerk forward. It's not some mysterious push from behind, it's literally just your own inertia insisting on continuing the journey.
Section 3. Summary and final thought.
Let's package these core takeaways so they stick with you long after this explainer ends. Objects fundamentally resist change. That's inertia. If an object is at rest, it stays at rest because it's inherently lazy. If an object is in motion, it stays in motion because it just wants to keep going. And the final, all-important condition, all of this is true unless a force acts on the object. A push, a pull, friction, gravity, you name it. If you can grasp these simple rules, you essentially hold the cheat sheet to understanding the mechanics of the entire physical world.
To wrap up, I want to leave you with a final, provocative question. What invisible forces are keeping you in your seat right now? I mean, you are an object at rest, you have inertia, you aren't floating away, and you aren't sliding through the floor. So as you go about the rest of your day, just look around. Look at the objects on your desk, the cars on the street, the world in motion. Try to spot the unseen forces, gravity, friction, pushes, pulls, that are constantly battling against inertia to keep our universe functioning. Thank you so much for joining me for this explainer, and keep exploring the amazing science all around you